between, we just only love a friend. I guess it is what it is. Hey, tell me what's going on. Girl, this may not be your favorite song. Cause baby, every week you switch up. Switch.
Alright, well, let's start off by saying grace. Amen.
Amen.
So, we went to one of our food trucks at the brewery down the street called Wayne's. They specialize in lumpia, chicken skewers, and pancit.
Yeah, Filipino food, basically.
Filipino food, yeah. They do orange chicken as well. It's not necessarily our favorite, but...
Before we get to that, we just want to say hello.
How you guys been?
So you jumping right into the video. We can greet the people. How y'all doing? Where y'all been? I know y'all wondering where we've been.
We've been here.
We've been living.
Took a little
working, mostly. So we decided to come back before we start just jumping back into the vlogs. Kind of with an update of what we've been doing. So, we're getting lunch and we just decided we should do like a mukbang style update, get to know us. Because that's one of the things we never did on our channel. We never like introduced ourselves, we just started vlogging.
How rude.
Not how rude. So, if y'all new here, welcome. If y'all subscribers, if y'all homies, welcome back.
Appreciate you.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Bruce.
Everybody call me BKdo.
I was never cool enough to get a nickname.
I only got a nickname when I became, excuse me, I'm on the tail end of a cold. When I became an adult, for real. But that's just because there's so many Britneys everywhere that a way to differentiate me from the other ones were to call me by my initials. But anywho, what we've been up to? Nothing. Working.
Scratching and surviving, good time.
Pretty much. Like I said, if y'all followed our last couple vlogs, I think the last vlog we did was New Year's. But before then, we did Vlogmas. And during that time, I had like 2 deaths in the family. So, that kind of put a damper on like me going into the new year. And I just needed a break. Sometimes you just need a break. And there was a couple people in the comments like, yeah, y'all take y'all break. We'll be here when y'all get back. Blah, 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 blah. We appreciate that. So, what you been up to?
Working.
More
I'm just here so I don't get fired and working, pretty much. But we did miss vlogging, but it's like life just started lifing. And if y'all live in the 2023 that we live in, I just feel like things have changed, whether it's financially, socially, just a lot. It's just been a lot, and it's been an adjustment period. But getting off all the serious topics here, I don't know if we ever went over our origin story.
What, like how we met?
Yeah, how we met and how we got together type.
No, not on the vlog. I feel like we did it on our podcast.
I feel like that would be a good time to do today.
Okay. Well,
you give your side of it and I'll give my side of it.
Post high school, early college years, I started working at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, remember how hot Buffalo Wild Wings was at the time?
It was what, 2011?
It was like the hottest restaurant out.
Yeah, 2011. I started working at Buffalo Wild Wings. It hadn't opened yet, so I was part of the crew that opened the store. And, hey, that's the girl from Brady Mac Show. I was part of the crew that opened the store. And that's where I met Bruce. I was a server. He was a host. I would just see him at work all the time. There's a lot of people work there. Mostly college kids.
She won't
Some people who are adults. Maybe a year and a half into working there, I started talking to this guy who worked there, and we dated. That's a whole nother story for another time.
It's Tyler Perry film.
Really, one day I'm gonna write a book just talking about all the stuff I done experienced in life. Yeah, so I was dating this guy. We ended up breaking up, and Bruce says that he just asked me, said we should go on a date.
She don't even remember this, y'all.
And I said, okay. I don't remember you asking me on the date, but I do remember our date. The date was very memorable. Because he used to always talk about these little mom and pop places he would go when he was home. And we were friends because we just used to, we had a lot of stuff in common. Like music, TV, we just had a lot in common. But I never really like looked at him like that because obviously I was dating somebody else. That was like my second serious boyfriend that I ever had. So I really was just, I was a different person back then. Anywho, we went out on this date. It ended up being like pretty much an all day date. He came and picked me up. Birthday, it was his birthday. I took him to this like mom and pop food restaurant, breakfast spot. We ate. We went to the mall. We got pedicures. We went to like a music store. I bought some CDs. I still remember what CDs I bought. I bought Justin Bieber. I bought what is her name? How you pronounce it?
Emily Sendai or something?
Yeah, Emily Sendai or Sendali and something else I bought. It was Justin Bieber.
You went to FIU, right?
Yeah, in the mall. And I bought 3 albums that day. And then after that, did we go to your place?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't remember what else we did after that. Because it was dark time by the time it was nighttime by the time we got home.
We got pulled over that night?
Yeah, and literally pulling up for him to drop me off at home, a cop, which there are never really cops in my parents' neighborhood, pulled up behind us.
I just remember it being so dark over there.
It was because one of the street lights was out. And we pulled up and the cop was basically like, do you know why I pulled you over? It was just like, no. He was like, you got a missing tail light or your tail light is out or something. Where y'all going? And I was like, oh, we just went out, but he's dropping me off at home. I live right here. And he was like, really? And asked for both of our IDs. And I'm like, sir, like, I know you have the capability of asking me for my ID. Why would I lie to you about where I live? So when he looked at it, he was like, oh, you really do live right here. I'm like, yeah.
That part, I don't even remember all that.
I do, because I remember him saying, like, really?
I remember your dad coming out, though.
Yeah, my dad did come out on the front porch, I guess because he saw the police lights or whatever. Did you get a ticket that day? I think he just let him off with a warning, and that was the end of the date. And then maybe a couple days later, a week later, I don't remember the timeline, my manager told me one day when I was cashing out at work that he was like, I know you, I heard you went out on a date. Me and his manager were cool. We're still cool to this day. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, listen, this boy really like you. So if you don't like him like that, then don't play around. And I was like, okay.
And took heed.
And I just stopped talking to him. As far as like, did we ever talk on the phone? I don't think we really talked on the phone. We just didn't go on any more dates. But we see each other at work all the time. And then I ended up getting back with the ex. You want to talk about it from your perspective? So I can eat some?
Well,
like you over here stuffing your face?
From my perspective, it was pretty much similar. We would see each other at work all the time. She was a server. But I feel like something ended up happening where one of the managers kind of was trying to fire you or something like that, or some slick shit. So she ended up having to come work on my side with the cashier greeters.
Yeah, they basically demoted me.
So during that time, we were sharing a lot of music. We were communicating. We were working a lot. And she was just like standing in front of me one day, and I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I was like, BK, we should go out on a date. Simple as that. Now, granted, I probably said it a little bit smoother than just we should go out on a date, but that was pretty much my words verbatim. And she was like, well, where you want to go? I was like, bet, I'm in there. So I told her my birthday was coming up. I was like, let's go get pedicures or something like that. Because I know women like to be groomed, and shit, I do too, personally. So we went. She wanted to take me to this diner breakfast place that kind of would remind me of back home. Because where I'm from, back in Michigan, we have Coney Islands. If anybody from Michigan, you know how they are. They sell everything. And it's kind of like your one-stop shop to get whatever you would want to eat. And it'd be good food or whatever the case is. Good breakfast, good lunch.
We should put the Michigan vlog in here. Because we actually went to Starlight. And
True.
that's on the vlog. So I'll link that somewhere up here.
Yeah, so she took me to this place. It was similar, you know. She was specifically talking about this damn ham. These girls in Virginia, I don't know what it is about them and liking ham. They love fucking ham down here. It's so bizarre.
Virginia ham! But I like ham!
Whatever.
I don't even eat ham no more. But that was my favorite meal. Ham, cabbage, mashed potatoes.
Most people be like tacos, chicken, pizza or something. They eat all like ham.
Specifically my daddy's ham, cabbage, fried cabbage and mashed potatoes.
So, the ham was good. It was ham. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to fucking go crazy about no ham or whatever the case is. But anyway, though, so we go to the mall. When I tell y'all, we hit it off good. It was PDA and everything. Like, I'm thinking everything's going great. I'm like, dude, you're so in there. Like, old boy from Everybody Hates Chris. So we go get our pedicure. I remember specifically the person who was doing her pedicure messed up her toe. And it was bleeding or whatever the case is. Just little memories from that day or whatever.
That's when I used to always bleed getting pedicures. And I feel like I told them that.
It was something about that toe, I guess, that big toe. Anyway, date's over. We get pulled over or whatever the case is. I didn't sweat it or whatever because I know I'd be straight for the most part and I ain't do nothing. This is before they start just killing us from getting pulled over. So I feel like this was 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but I'm saying it wasn't as prevalent that you would think that would occur, you know what I mean?
Right.
Nowadays, I'll probably have a freaking panic attack getting pulled over. But, yeah, so that was that. And it seemed like we just never talked again after that. Or we just didn't go out on dates anymore after that. I feel like you ended up stop working there kind of after that because of what happened.
Eventually, I feel like I worked there for maybe at least another year.
Either that or you just started serving again, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely started serving again because I
don't feel like you was up there with me no more because I would have said something about
it. No, they, basically when they demoted me, they never gave me a time period. And it happened one night.
But I feel like that was when the other manager ended up getting a different job, right? So then you got back on?
No, because this was Steve who did it.
Oh.
I mean, not Bagby. What was it? Schaefer. Right. Schaefer did it. And then one night, maybe 2 months later or a month later. However it was, I think he was still there because it wasn't a long time. Maybe like 2 weeks later, it was a night where they needed more service on the floor. And Ed and Steve were just like, throw her on the floor. Why is she over here when we know what she can do, you know, basically being a servant? And that was the end of my little demotion. But did you know why I stopped talking to you?
No, I thought it was just because you started talking back with the boys, so I left it alone.
Oh. No. That wasn't why. Well, part of the reason, but we didn't start talking again until a little bit later. Fast forward a couple years, I'm working at Whole Foods. One of my old co-workers come in, because Whole Foods down here used to have a bar and restaurant.
No, this is going too far.
What you mean?
Because this is going to 2016. I'm just talking about 2014.
What was 2014?
When we went out with my brother.
Oh. So yeah, I wasn't working there. This was still fast forward a couple years.
It was like 2 or 3 years, yeah.
I was yeah, this had to be 2015 or the end of.
It was 2014.
2014. So Bruce's brother that you hear us talk about all the time, he came into town and Bruce and I and him ended up going out to hang out. They went to like Applebee's or something.
Laser Dragon Applebee's.
And at dinner we were just talking about
What's been
life and catching up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dating this guy at this time who basically he didn't con me into a relationship. He wooed me and courted me, and then waited until like I started to catch feelings to tell me that he was married. So I decided like his wife, he was from a different state. He was actually from Illinois, and his wife lived in Illinois. He had custody of his son and his wife's son, and it was just a whole thing. And I basically was like,
I'm through it, man.
I'm over dudes at this time. By that time, I had been engaged and cheated on with one of my closest friends. I was just over. So basically, I was just like, I don't care. I don't care that you married, because I'm no longer emotionally invested in this relationship. I'm just gonna get what I can out of this relationship, because he had a job that was pretty lucrative, and he didn't have a lot of time to spend with me, so he would
sound like a gold digger.
No, I'm just saying he didn't have a lot of time. Typical with money story. I don't have a lot of time, but I can throw money at you to suffice for the time that I don't have, and that's not usually how I like my relationships to operate. But I was just like,
Here
I could be a too.
I'm ready to spend time.
So I'm like, whatever.
Not that much money.
So I end up telling Bruce and his brother this, and that's where you can take over.
So when I tell y'all that she started telling this story to me and my brother, and we just taking it all in. Now, granted, the whole
I'm going into more detail though.
No, you're going into detail.
You know what I'm saying? When I was talking to y'all, I was going into more detail.
Yeah. She's telling the whole story, and it's very detailed, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. So, whole time my brother had been telling me since we had linked up to hang out, dang man, you and BK, y'all got good chemistry together. Y'all should be together. And I'm like, man, tried it, ship sailed. If it presents itself, maybe. That's what I said before we went out to dinner, and she spilled the beans about everything that had been going on. By the time we had dropped her back off at her apartment, I was just like, hell no. No. Big N, big O. No. I was like, she damaged. You heard everything that she was talking about. I can't. No. And I was still in my chauvinistic ways back then, because this was before the internet really, for real. Kind of like told us that it was...
He was a podcast bro.
I was a podcast bro. This is before the internet had told us that it was wrong to be a man, essentially. Where it's illegal to be a man now, technically.
Shut up.
I was still in my caveman way of thinking, where I was just like, nah, like she's out of control. She had like a guy. I don't want nothing to do with that. Granted, I don't think any guy would have wanted something to do with that personally, because it just sounded like a girl who had been through a lot. And when you were trying to be with her before she had got jaded, she didn't want all that. Now she's jaded.
I was already jaded.
Huh? I'm talking about when we first started talking to each other. I
was already jaded.
But you was still you still had a little innocence left in you. Okay. You did. And it was a different girl.
Okay.
So by the time 2014 had passed around, I knew that it wasn't that same girl anymore. And I was just like, no, I'm not signing up for that. So I was like, I'll pass. And I did pass. And I was like, she could be a homie. You know what I'm saying? We could still be cool and friends. I feel like we went out some more after that. And
we did?
Yeah, I feel like I would hang out with you and Rita every now and then.
Oh, yeah. You would.
But trying to pursue it as more than just anything outside of just friends or maybe, whatever. Like a relationship? No. So I had graduated. I went back home. Had all the intentions of staying home. But I had to come back and redo one class to get my actual paper, my degree. So I ended up coming back down here. Now this is just going to be rushing this now at this point. So ended up coming back down here. Now granted, I done been in a relationship with this girl that was a good girl, but she was crazy. She was very girly. She was everything that, you would want in a girl or whatever case. But she was crazy. It was my first time actually dating crazy. So I became jaded myself because I saw myself doing things that I never thought I would do, like cussing at a woman, yelling at a woman, getting upset, blacking out, getting stressed out, getting gray hairs, things of that nature. So it was almost like a blessing in disguise where I had to come back down here to
redo that class.
To redo that class so I can get away from her. Pretty much. So I come down here and I ended up getting my old job back at B-Dubs or whatever, because at this point, still to this day, I feel like I can still get that job back. Like, even BK
feel like you
yeah,
could.
we know we can get our job back at any time. He tells her that every time he sees her. He tries to recruit us back.
Put us on the daggone schedule.
Put us on the schedule. So
I don't go here.
I go back, become a bartender. I'm bartending on weekends, even during the week too. For real. That was my full-time job at that point. And I see this random white girl. The only reason why I'm putting emphasis on the white girl is because only other white girl would do what she did.
Y'all get one of the Olympias?
And then you already owe me one.
I only want one.
So, anyway, long story short, she comes to the bar and she asked me, we just started having a conversation. She asked me how long have I been working there. I'm like, well, I've been here since the place opened. She was like, oh, well, you might know my friend BK. I was like, BK? Man, we go way back. That's my homegirl. So, long story short, I was like, yo, tell BK I said what up, though. I thought that was the end of it. Like, did I think that she was actually going to tell BK that we talked and that I said what up, though? No, I didn't think she was going to say this. Next thing I know, I'm at my apartment and I get a text message. Boop, you back in town? I was like, yeah, for a little short time being or whatever the case is. She was like, we should link up. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever.
We should link up.
No, she said,
I should come visit you.
I guess. And I was like, no, you did say something we should hang out. And I was like, I'll be working. And you was like, where you working at? And I was like, at B-Dubs, duh. And you was like, what you doing? And I was like, I'm bartending or whatever. Pretty much, I ended up saying I'm bartending or whatever. And you was like, well, I'll come keep you company at the bar or something like that. And I was like, cool, whatever. I rolled my eyes about it because I didn't think she was actually going to come. But she did. She was looking good. And long story short, that was it. And what's the white girl name?
Shelby.
Shelby is invited to the wedding. Cheers, Shelby. So, and that's how we kind of got together. It took over 6 years. So,
that's a little bit of insight into our relationship and how we got together. I'm trying to think if there was anything different from my perspective.
On the Shelby side?
Yeah.
I would love to hear your side of it.
Oh. Whole Foods had a bar. Shelby used to work at that bar with me. The bar was kind of like Cheers. Like, the same people would come in there every day. We had this guy who ran the trucking company. He would come every day after he got off, had 2 beers, grab some groceries, and leave. It was just that kind of environment. So even after you worked there, you still came and you drank and you hung out with the regulars. And Shelby came in. She was like, hey, BK. She came around, gave me a hug. She was like, I met somebody that you know. And I was like, who you done met that I know? She was like, a bartender at B-Dubs. And at that time, I thought she was talking about like Eric or somebody. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this guy named Bruce. And I was like, a bartender? She was like, yeah. I said, you sure his name was Bruce? She was like, yeah, he was a bartender. And we just got to talking. And that's how we found out that, you know, that y'all know each other. I told him, you said, what's up? I told him that I would tell you, he said, what's up? And I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Went on about my day. I think the next day after work, I texted him, like you said, like, hey, you in town? Was not pressed. We were friends. And I was just like, hey, you in town? And he was like, yeah. I told him that I'd come up to the bar and see him. I don't remember the details of the conversation. And I just remember asking my best friend, maybe a couple days later or the next day that I had off, if she wanted to come to hang out with me at B-Dubs at the bar. Because I knew that, like, as a bartender, you can't just focus your attention in one place. And I didn't want to be sitting at the bar by myself. So, me and my best friend went up there. And we hung out. And he worked. And we talked. And then, I don't remember how the conversation or nothing went. I just remember us hanging out
I don't know
on
how.
one of your off days.
We ended up hanging out
And literally we hung out. We've been together for real every day since then. Pretty much. That was it. That was all. So I gotta get ready to go to work in a little bit. But we can talk to y'all about some of the plans that we have upcoming. Our summer plans for vlogging, I kind of got to a point where I'm like, man, we need to plan out our vlogs a little bit because we don't do a lot of things day to day. But we do enjoy vlogging and just sharing our life in our city with y'all. We got Bruce's family reunion this summer. Guess what?
What? She's going to see Beyonce.
I'm going to see Beyonce, y'all. Well, we going to see Beyonce. So, we're going to see Beyonce this summer. What else did we have planned? Oh, we canceled the other thing because it was too expensive.
Shit, that's enough.
Right. Because all of this is happening.
Like
his family reunion.
July's going to be busy for y'all.
His family reunion and the Beyonce concert are like 2 weeks apart.
And we're going to see the concert in Michigan.
In the same place. So, like, I couldn't get tickets anywhere else for the pre-sale. And to get good tickets, which I'm kind of glad we got Michigan because it's a smaller stadium. Mm-hmm. And the seats that we're going to be in, if I can put the visual up here, I'll add it to it. But Bruce Homeboy sent him basically what the stage is going to look like from where our seats are. And we got some pretty good seats. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And, of course, we got all the stuff that we do here in Virginia Beach and the surrounding cities. We got some breweries that we've been spotting that we want to like hang out and see what they got to offer for the summertime. We got the festivals that we usually go to, like the Wine Fest, the Caribbean Fest, the Cajun Festival. And then whatever else we decide to throw in there, his schedule is a pretty good work schedule. So if we want to throw in some like day trips to
we're trying to go see Usher, y'all.
Or somewhere. Definitely trying to go see Usher, but
on the fall schedule.
We can do that in the fall. Yeah, I feel like that'd be good for the fall.
I want to go see the Lions. I really do want to go to a Lions game next year, but I don't know how.
That's pretty much
I'll pull that off.
What we got planned for the summer. I'm just excited about the summer because I feel like it was open last year, but the world is like open now.
So, and it's less likelihood of getting sick, like terminally sick.
I'm about to say for who? Because I'm sick right now.
Yeah, terminally sick. You get sick every day.
But yeah.
Every week anyway.
So, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for
riding with us, hanging with us.
Yeah, for hanging in there on our hiatus. Or for my church folks, our sabbatical. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who like watching content. We have a Instagram page. I'll post that up here too. Follow us on Instagram because that's where you can see us actually living in the moment. And we've kind of been posting like in our stories. We post in our stories a lot on Instagram, especially when like we're out doing stuff like today. And yeah, anything else?
Nah, that's about it. We're going to try to get back on the
bandwagon.
On the good foot with it because we were doing good last year in the fall, I felt like.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we were doing
really
good.
It was really spearheaded by you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We really want to get back into podding again too. I don't know if we're going to do a visual pod.
No.
Because podcasts are not visual, so.
Not even that. Like, we just don't have a designated space. And taking down the stuff and putting up the stuff every time we want to pod, it's just...
It's too much. Now, granted, we did invest in a microphone, which hopefully you guys can hear us very clearly right now. Yeah. We're banking on that. This might actually could be conducive to a good podcast setup, but it just doesn't look, Podcasty.
Even though we have all the stuff that we could do it.
But it ain't going to be to our standard. Because we're bougie and we like shit to be done the right way.
Yeah. So,
we can do the audio, and
but now,
we've done that for years and it worked out for us. But when people kept demanding a visual podcast, we fought it. Then we just like, all right, fuck it, we're going to try it. And then that's when we fell off.
Then we realized we're going to do what we want to do.
Right.
I mean, either y'all going to get with it What they say? What my brother and them be
Get red,
saying?
get lost.
No. Either you run with it, run from it, or get ran over. Something he be saying all the time. Anywho, we're rambling. I gotta go. Appreciate y'all for watching. Later.